Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of the podcast. This week I'm excited to share with you a brand new project which we have been working away on behind the scenes for the past year or so. And these are advanced stone setting classes that we are calling the Jewellers Masterclasses. So if you are sort of new to jewelry making, these ones are not going to be for you, but do have a listen along to the episode because it will give you a really good idea of what you could progress to. But those of you that have done lots of jewelry making before, do lots of stone setting and are really looking to advance your skills, this is going to be for you. And we know that you guys have been asking for this for ages. So we're very excited. And we actually, when we were making these, we kept in mind the advanced diploma students who have gone through the silver diploma, the fine diploma, and the advanced diploma, and now they're off in the world doing their own thing. But they were like, is there anything else we can do? Is there any more training? And of course, with jewelry making, there's always more to learn. But also those jewelers who perhaps have a degree in jewelry or have just done lots of jewelry making and work regularly in stone setting and are thinking like, I would really love to work on some of these projects. It's going to be for you. So in the session today, we're going to talk a bit about stone setting. There'll be lots that you can learn, but we're also going to share about these classes, about the incredible mentors on them, what you can expect from them. So if you are thinking about joining us either this year or in the future, you know what you're going to be signing up to. And I'm joined by the wonderful Anna Campbell, who is here today to help share about the programs. So welcome, Anna. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really super excited that finally, we're ready to kind of put these out into the world. And I've been having a little sneaky peek at some of the courses and some of the videos, and it's just it's jaw-dropping the skills that are there. But also for those people who it's right for, it's going to really move people along and give them something really amazing to be able to kind of add to their skills and their repertoire. So it's super exciting.
Absolutely. I just want to do each and every one. So I'll tell you guys a bit about what it is because something a little bit different. It's not a diploma, it's not an individual class, it's a master class. So it's high level, so we expect you to know quite a few things, and it's detailed listed on the website what things you need to know before, but we'll talk about that in a bit as well. And there are 3 of them. So we start with the first one in October. So the deadline to sign up to them is the 1st of October, which is also the first day of the first masterclass. Each masterclass is going to run for 2 months. So the first one will run October through to November, just slightly into December. Then you have a little break over Christmas, January, come back, and then it's February to April will be the next masterclass. And then the final one will be sort of May to July time. So they roughly run for 2 months each. But we know that jewelers at this level are making and selling jewelry, that they have busy lives, and we don't expect you to be dedicating all your time to this. It's a project that you can work on throughout those sessions. But instead of just giving you loads of videos, which we have done because they are big chunky classes, we also have some live support, so you'll be learning from the mentors. So you'll be able to come to live Zoom sessions with them, ask questions, tell them about how you're getting on, get support with these projects. So what I think is really nice about them is you've got time to really go into detail on a technique, because as you get more advanced as a jeweler, you're not going to learn something in a week or two. Some of these projects, it will take months to really master them. You might need to make them 5 or 6 times before it all goes to plan. So we want to do that journey with you. We want to be involved, and we want to kind of help with troubleshooting, because there's always things that can go wrong with advanced jewelry projects, with any jewelry projects, but especially the more advanced they get. And then of course each group will have their own Facebook group as well, so you guys can talk to each other. There's something so powerful about learning at the same time and being part of a cohort. We're really fans of that way of learning. It's really effective, especially for online training, to just have everyone together sharing, and encouraging each other. So it's going to be a lovely community, probably like a smaller community, but a lovely one, who are kind of really dedicated to working on their stone setting. So Anna, maybe you can share a bit more about those things in terms of like the support that we have around the course as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things I think I'll just pick up on what you were just saying is because We have our diplomas and they are awesome and love them. But as you've mentioned, we're working now and learning from master stone setters, master goldsmiths, and these projects are so in depth. It was about trying to give you that time, like you said, to really get into it and really practice. So that is really very exciting. And within that, we wanted to ensure that you also had support. There's plenty of, like you said, there's lots and lots of videos to really, as always, we've got our amazing professional film crew come in and are doing that super amazing work, especially with, small gemstones and things, being able to see those really tight macro shots. Is it micro shot? Anyway, get confused with that.
Yes,
Macro shots.
nice up close.
And it's fantastic, it's amazing. But I think what I love about this is it's kind of that hybrid between the diploma and support, and kind of working on our own timetable, and to our own deadlines, because you will be a more advanced jeweler, so you will already have certain skills, and it's about building on those skills. And you may well, as you're working through, have questions for the mentor that's teaching. So we will have kind of dotted throughout the 2 months, we have some live Q&A sessions, which we will love you to come along to come and ask questions. Even if you don't have questions, come along and hear the tips and the extra little bits, because you'll always learn. Whatever somebody else asked, you're always going to learn from that. If for any reason you're not able to come to the lives, that's absolutely fine. You can share your questions in advance. We can make sure we ask the mentors in the session, and then you can watch back the session, so they will be recorded. And as usual with our courses, you will get lifetime access. So it's not just the 2 months. We want you to have 2 months, and we kind of want to encourage you to get into the projects within those 2 months, because you'll have that support. And we know the stats are that people can buy online courses, and we've probably all done it, and then never look at them, or, and I think that just having that support there for live Q&As, but also there will be a Facebook group. And I think you're right. I think it's going to be just a really lovely, probably quite, like you mentioned, quite small community of people who are doing the same thing, who are loving the same stuff, who are obsessed with gemstones as you are. It is going to be staffed, so you'll be able to ask questions outside of those Q&A times. And our jeweler who's staffing that will kind of go off and find out answers for you. So we really want you to feel like it's a really supported program. You have this community there, and you can have those links that you make with other jewelers.
Absolutely. And I think we're so lucky, because it's especially to get people at this level who are willing to share their skills in such an open way, because it's not too difficult to find someone to teach you the beginnings of jewelry making, because lots of people know that and lots of people want to share it. But the jewelers on these classes, they wouldn't say it themselves, but they really are masters. They've been doing this for decades. And they've all worked in jewelry workshops where they were literally making every single day, as part of a team, doing repairs, doing whatever they were told to do, basically, which is actually harder than doing your own business. I mean, it's not always as fun, but sometimes it is. They've got their stories. And yeah, just to have this incredible level of knowledge, and in these classes we get to hone in on one really specific skill, and they're so giving, both in the sessions that we've pre-recorded with the tips and the advice that they're sharing and the troubleshooting and everything that's included in there, but also in the live sessions. And we have a lot of fun in them too. We kind of come together as a community, and it helps so much with the motivation and the things that we all need as we're going through learning things. So let's talk about some of the projects, because that's the most exciting thing, I think, about the masterclasses. So the first class we're kicking off with in October is just incredible. It's by Anelia Caprina, and anyone who's done any of Anelia's courses before will know how incredible she is as a tutor. She's a fine jeweler, she's very detailed in her work, and she's a very passionate teacher as well, so she's great at sharing that knowledge. And it is called Decorative Collets. So if you've done any collet setting before, you'll know what that is, but it's essentially, it's a rub over setting. So it's not like a bezel setting, or I don't think of it as a bezel setting, because you're not working with like like a cabochon stone, but it's similar in terms of rub over because you've got you're kind of creating a nice seat for a faceted stone, and then you are usually drilling down and using a mixture of filing and pushing over, rubbing over to set that stone. So anyone who wants to do this class, we recommend that they already are very confident with collet setting. They know how to collet set round stones. They know how to collet set shape stones. So we do this in the diploma in silver. In the fine diploma, we do in the diploma in silver, we do a round. In the fine diploma, we do a square, a pear, and an oval. So we kind of expect that people can do those things, and it's not going to be tricky for them, because it's really taking it up a level. Because decorative collets are, we're working with big stones, big collets, and we are piercing out into the collet. And there's quite a few projects. There's 3 different projects that Anelia will take you through. The first one is a gorgeous hexagon ring. You have to go and look at the pictures on the website, even if you never plan to do this, because they just look amazing. So it's a hexagon ring, so she'll teach you how to make a collet for a hexagon, which is quite challenging anyway. And then because it's quite a geometric shape, we went with a geometric pierced out pattern for that. So she will teach you how to mark out your pattern, how to solder the piece all together, how to obviously pierce it out, and then how to do the setting of that piece. So just an incredible kind of piece to be able to do. Then there are a pair of earrings. So the earrings are marquise set. So they're marquise shaped stones. And we would expect that you would be confident setting a marquise collet before taking the course. So we don't show the setting on every single piece because it's the same and it's a very long process. But she shows the hexagon because that's a little bit trickier. So, but what we're doing with the marquise is piercing out the sides. And again, she'll show you how to mark a pattern out on them, how to pierce, and how to make that into a beautiful finished stud earring design. And then the final project is a pendant, and I'm actually wearing mine today. This is one of Anelia's. You won't be able to see it if you're listening on the podcast, but go look at the pictures. You probably can't even see it on here really, but it's really pretty. And it's a dome, so it's a big round stone, but instead of a traditional collet, which might be like a tapered tube, it's a dome. And so obviously marking out designs that work onto a dome are a little bit more complex. Anelia's done some beautiful templates for us, so she will show you how to translate those templates onto your design, but also using your dividers and marking out and getting a really detailed kind of piece on there. Then again, the piercing, and again, we assume that you can set the round stone. So that's just a kind of very, very brief, but also kind of detailed overview of that first class.
I just love it. I was having a little sneaky peek at the videos, and I just love, well, as you said, Anelia is a fantastic tutor. You know, worked in Hatton Garden for many years, as you mentioned, as a bench jeweler. So you can tell she's really got that, and got that eye for detail as jewelers have at this level. And I love the different stone shapes that that you just mentioned. That hexagon ring is, oh my goodness, I love that. I love that she's done a ring, earrings, and a pendant. So it's great to have all of those different types, but also those different shapes. So the round, the marquise, and the hexagon. And I just, there's just so much there that she does. And those templates are just gorgeous. And she also has some templates there for you that you can then do your own designs on. So she shares a few of her designs, the ones that she does in the course, but she also has some little blank templates for you to take it in your own direction. And I just really love that that's there. I think with collets, I think well, not having done a collet setting, honestly, let me just say that now, but I can see, it takes a little bit of that calculation. This is why it is a more advanced stone setting technique, and then it's one up again with the decorative collets. But being able to have those templates there, and work from them and kind of create your own designs, I just feel like I just really can't wait to see what the students do with what she shows and where you take those designs, because it's just super exciting.
I really agree with that. And what I'm excited about with all the masterclasses is because we're starting with advanced level jewelers and they're learning advanced techniques, we hope that they will, of course, learn what's in the class and give the projects a go. But because we've given you a bit of extra time, for those of you that can, it'd be really nice to see your own designs based around these pieces. And, you know, it doesn't have to be the same order that Anelli has done it. You might take a domed piece and put it into a ring instead of a pendant, and you might put like pave setting down the sides, the shoulders, or, you know, there's just so much that you could do once you know these new techniques. And I think that's an exciting thing about learning any new technique, is like, how is it going to be embedded into your signature style, into the way that you make and sell jewelry already? What will it offer your customers in terms of commissions that you've not been able to offer before? But I know, speaking to a lot of our advanced jewelers, they've been asking for this kind of stuff. They're like, I love everything that we've done so far, but now I'm ready to try something even more technical, even more fine. And so we're always working on like adding that extra layer, so you never feel like, okay, I've learned everything now. Because this is what we do.
Yeah, I think you alluded to it as well, like, when you're saying about kind of the tutors and how amazingly giving they are with their techniques. But you know, where I don't know where you are in the world, you're listening to this right now, but actually, you know, it's not always that accessible to get these higher level skills. You may need to travel quite a long way to do that, and there's, you know, additional costs associated with that. So it's just amazing to be able to have this level of skill, but being able to learn that from home. I just, you know, I love that.
Yes, yeah, we're both very excited to see what you guys make with it. So let's move on to the second masterclass. So that's what we're going to be doing from now until sort of Christmas, is working on the collets. And we know you guys are busy and you're selling your work, so, you know, even just a couple of hours a week is going to make a massive difference. And you've got the whole time to do it. So, and like Anna said, you'll also have lifetime access. You can always come back if you didn't get to all of it. So after Christmas, it's starting in February. You have January off because, you know, very generous. So is Fishtail Setting. So this is one of the most popular settings around at the moment. It's used very commercially. Lots of kind of engagement ring, wedding ring, eternity bands, pendants, you know, you name it. It's just a really important setting for fine jewelers to learn. And it's kind of like a bit of a rite of passage, I feel like, to learn the fishtail setting. You often learn channel setting, then you'll learn pave setting, and then you'll learn fishtail. So fishtail is, you know, not the same as the other two, but there's some similarities. And we do recommend, before you take this class, that you have done channel and pave setting beforehand, so it is quite advanced level. We're going to be using gravers, so that is one of the tools that you will need if you don't have them already. And this is taught by master stone setter, who we all know and love, Scott McIntyre. I can't think of anyone else to learn this from who would be better. And I've actually done some classes in person with Scott, and he is just incredible. He's an incredible tutor, and we're incredibly lucky to have him teaching this. And this is what he knows and loves. You know, this is like one of his favorite types of settings. So yeah, just a beautiful thing. Again, go and look at the pictures on the website, because it's very difficult to describe certain stone settings without looking at them. But this is working with small stones, so it's more of a micro stone setting. So you can work with 3 mil, 2 mil, you know, if you're very brave, 1 mil. And Scott covers two projects in this class. So first of all, you're going to be making a bar pendant. This is really just to teach you the fishtail setting technique. So it'll be like 5 stones, you know, silver probably, bar pendant. Obviously, you can do any of these projects in silver or gold. I'd recommend working in silver just to save your budget, but when you're ready to make something really fine, it'd be gorgeous to see them in gold too. So yeah, bar pendant is the first project, and you might need to do quite a few of those to kind of feel confident with the technique, because it takes a little bit of time to get it nice and neat and beautiful. But having said that, you know, it's not too hard. That's the other thing, is that, like, they're challenging, but for the right level jeweler, this will be the perfect next step. And the second project that Scott does is we just take it to a next level, which is we're doing fishtail on the round. So it's a halo pendant. So it's got a big kind of rub over collet in the middle, and then it's got the fishtail all the way around and a nice little bail on, or you can choose what you want to do bail wise. So again, just learning how to measure out on a circular piece, which is a bit different to a flat. you know, having a go at working with the angles, because when something's circular and face on like a halo, you've got the inner circle, which is obviously smaller than the outer circle, and so there's different considerations for how you're going to set those stones. And when you've got a big piece in the middle, big stone in the middle, there's also the considerations around that and how we kind of navigate that whole the technicalities of the piece. So, another incredible high value class that we are excited to see what you do with. What are your thoughts on this one? I don't know if you've seen this one yet, Anna. It's all very new. So, yeah, I've seen them all, but obviously not everyone has yet. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't watched the videos yet, but I have had a little look at the photos, and it's exactly what I would expect from Scott. The author of the stone setting book. He's the one to learn from, and that it does look really exciting, and I can really see those advanced level jewelers that are listening right now that are going to be really excited about the opportunity to learn that technique. And I think the other thing I love about it, the way we teach, is that you have that 2 months. So if you did go to a class, which, if you're lucky enough to be able to do that, you've got, very limited amount of time to practice and to ask questions and to get things wrong. And, I love that we have Scott for the live sessions. For those, for the lives, he will be there for that. And, the Facebook group as well, so that it's, I don't know, I guess it's not so pressured to
Mm.
try and master it and get it and ask all the questions before you leave for the day. I love that there's that opportunity as well, so it's a fantastic way of learning and being able to fit it in with life as well, which we often, oh, of course, we need to do too. So yeah, I think it's a really exciting project. And yeah, again, I can't wait to see what people make.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I find like by like 3 p.m. most days, my brain can't take any more information on a class. So even though I keep going, like it's really difficult to retain it all. So I mean, I love doing in-person classes, but you're right. The master classes they're more in depth. Just in that you have the videos, you can go back to them all. You've got more time with the tutor. You've got the Facebook group. It's more of an experience, I would say, in terms of like a elongated experience, and then seeing what other people make as well, seeing what
Yeah.
other people do with the projects, and just having that micro community who are interested in learning that specific thing at that specific time. There's just really no way to describe the power of that. Those of you that have done diplomas with us will kind of know what we're talking about, but I think it's hard until you're in it to kind of understand. But yeah, and just to say that none of these are marked, so in our diplomas we mark things. This is learning, so it's just about you learning. There's no posting anything. There's it's different to a diploma in that way. But it's just a lovely way to kind of progress those skills. Awesome. All right, should we move on to project number 3?
Yeah,
So
so
our
exciting.
third and final project, and I pretty much just choose things that I wanted to learn, so there we go. Is with the incredible April Dace, and it is a tiara wedding band. And actually, she makes 2 different types of tiara wedding bands. So, tiara wedding bands are, for anyone who doesn't know, those kind of, they look almost like a wishbone. They kind of, have the pointed bit, and they tend to go underneath an engagement ring, and they have usually quite a few gemstones in them, and they kind of look a bit like a tiara in a wedding band. And it's just incredible fine jewelry to be able to make. Now, I would say this is the most challenging project. It's also, which is why we put it at the end. It's also the one with the most videos. And we actually, funny story, ran out of time filming it because there's so much detail. So April is coming back to film part 2, and we filmed most of it. But that's never happened before. So, but I think it's kind of a testimony to just how detailed it is, and also just how much is involved, but also how exciting it is to be able to make one of these from scratch. So we work with an engagement ring that's already made. We don't make the engagement ring in the class because that's a whole nother thing. And also, anyone taking this class would be able to make the simple solitaire engagement ring beforehand. So we recommend before taking this class that you're confident in claw setting, that you could do like a trilogy claw set ring. So three claw settings together in a ring, and you could confidently do that because we're now moving to 5 settings, and also they're very tiny settings and we're doing it in a slightly different way. So you don't make each setting individually. You make the band, and then we're going to be soldering the claws on, shaping it. Just lots of slow refining. So this is real handmade fine jewelry where there's no rush. This, you can't rush a tiara handmade ring from scratch. You can get them cast, and you can, that's a different thing. And if people were on a lower budget, that would always be an option if you were working as a jeweler. But some people will value and will want, and it does look different, you to make things from scratch. And the skills you're going to learn in this will be incredible. So April teaches you two types of tiara bands. The first one, or the most challenging one, but we filmed it first, is the claw set one. So it's 5 claw settings. We've got pair, we've got rounds. Have a look on the website again at the pictures, it'll give you a better idea. And she works in gold, and we're using salt and pepper diamonds, and it just looks incredible. But obviously you can practice in silver first, and see how it goes. But this is the kind of piece you would really only make in gold once you could make it, because of the hours that will be put into making it. Then the second one is another tiara band. It's 3 stones, and it's collet set stones. So this is really about working with how things fit together. So you already know how to make a collet, you already know how to make a band, but how do you make it all kind of sit together, set the stones next to each other, work on this small scale, and make it fit a previous engagement ring. So April kind of talks you through all of that. We are working with cast collets for this one, just to save time, because otherwise you just have to sit there and watch her make up 3 collets, and you already know how to make up a collet. So it'll kind of give you a different perspective as well of how you can hybrid with cast settings and making your own. So just an incredible course. April is an amazing jeweler. She's so lovely as well. So another one who's just so giving with her time and her energy. And I think what I really noticed in the filming is she didn't miss anything out. She wanted the jewelers to see every single stage, so that we're not skipping any bits and saying, oh, you kind of know how to do this. It's saying like, well, let's go through the whole process. So I felt like when I was watching it, like I was sat beside her, and she was like the master, and I was like the apprentice, just watching and learning. So that's kind of what we're trying to go with these classes.
Oh, I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, just like the final result, yeah, it looks fantastic. And as you said, April's an amazing jeweler. Our community, I don't think will have had a course from April before. I think this is the first one, but she is on season 2, episode 2 of the Jewelers Retreat, so you can see her on there and her tips that she's sharing on there. She is a fantastic jeweler, and she's a fantastic tutor as well. I'm sure we'll get her back for more things. Just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
But but yeah, this it just looks absolutely stunning. And I think these 3 masterclasses together, if you think about this time next year and your skills, if you do these 3 masterclasses and you take that time to do it, you're going to be in a different stratosphere, I think. And there's just I think it's, if you have that ambition to keep moving forward with your skills as an advanced jeweler, I really honestly think this is a no-brainer. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we try to make it like, obviously you should do it. Obviously, it's everything that you could want and more. I think another thing that's worth mentioning is the tools and materials. And actually, if you're at this level, you're probably going to have all the tools and materials that you need, or materials is a bit different. You would need to order some silver, but it's not a huge amount. So in terms of cost, it doesn't have to be a huge investment. We are putting together a tool list at the moment, and as soon as we have it, we'll share it with everyone. But what I would say is generally there was nothing that was a huge surprise. It's not like, oh, there's this brand new thing that nobody has. Assuming you're at the right level, you'll have a pendant motor. We do use a rolling mill a little bit in the tiara band. There's probably another way to do it, but I'd recommend, having something like that. But otherwise it's your hand tools. In Scott's class there's going to be gravers, but hopefully people doing fishtail setting will have used gravers before anyway, perhaps for star setting, or pave bits and pieces like that. So I think if you're trying to jump from sort of early stages to here, there'll be a big tool investment, and we don't recommend that. We do recommend going through the other programs first because we don't want you to be frustrated, and we want your learning to feel appropriate and encouraging, and like, oh great, it's the next step, and not sort of skipping too many stages. But if you're at the right level, I would predict that you'll have 99% of the things that you need in your workshop already. I was going to say that actually at the fishtail setting, because a lot of setting like that, like micro setting nowadays, is taught with quite expensive machinery. And there's nothing wrong with using like the microscopes and the air tools. It's really cool actually. And it's, if you're doing loads of setting, that might be something that jewelers will progress to eventually. But the way that we teach them here is just using simple tools that you have around your bench, which makes it far more accessible to people, especially people from all over the world. So I'm excited that we get to learn these things, and there's not hopefully too much of an investment in terms of tools and materials there. Um, so it kind of leads us into who it's for. We've kind of spoken about this. When we were making them, I was keeping in mind the diploma students who finished the advanced jewelry diploma. So that's really like our main people that we were thinking of. Now, of course, there's jewelers out there who have trained before we came along, or just in different ways, and that's absolutely fine. But do go ahead to the website and check the things that we recommend that you know already. And I'd say just be honest with yourself. If it feels like this is the next step for you, of course we want you to challenge yourself, but I wouldn't say to skip too many stages, because like I said, it can make you disheartened, and that is the last thing that we want, because you can definitely, everyone, even if you're a total beginner, you can get here. And we have a very clear progression to how you get here. It's diploma in silver, diploma in fine, advanced diploma, and here. And we're going to keep adding more stuff. So, there's always going to be more things. And there are other routes too, but that's kind of, when I was thinking about that was what I was thinking. Also, anyone who's completed the fine diploma and hasn't gone on to the advanced, I think that they would be like, as long as maybe they've done like a day class in Parve or something like that, there's potential there. But I would say you need to have completed at least to the fine level, or equivalent elsewhere, to take on these classes. But yeah, they're going to be great. It's going to be great fun. Pricing, maybe we can talk a little bit about pricing, Anna, in terms of payment plans and things, and we can mention just a bit about that.
Yes, the each of the masterclasses is going to be available to purchase separately. So if there was something like specific, you're like, I definitely want to do this, but maybe I don't want to do the other two, then that's an option. And at the moment, the Decorative Collets course is available at an early bird price, and you can just purchase that one on its own if that's what you'd like to do. But there is also a masterclass bundle, which means you can save, and there's also a payment plan for that to pay over 10 months. We really wanted to help you spread that cost, so it was a real no-brainer for you to join with that, because I think they're not the same. The projects are different, but they are on that, well, I suppose the tiara is a little bit higher perhaps, but they're all on a fairly similar level. So if you're wanting to invest in your skills for this coming year, this is a brilliant opportunity to do that, and also to network with other jewelers and to just get inspired and get support. So I think it's that amazing kind of hybrid between like online learning and also getting support as well. So yeah, I think it's about just choosing what works for you. The other masterclasses, so at the moment the Decorative Collets is available to purchase. The other ones will be available closer to the time when we're launching them, as individual courses. So if that's what you're looking for, if you just wanted the fishtail or something, you could just do that. So yeah, there are options, lots of choice.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely recommend the bundle though, because it's just, I think, and I don't think anyone's bought them individually yet. They've all
No.
been bundled. But I understand why, because it's not too much. It's definitely, like, we've tried to keep it really affordable. And they're just great projects, and it's just like, why not? Why not go in? So that's what we recommend. And yeah, the payment plan makes it really, really accessible. So you should be making that back within no time with the skills that you have as well and the things that you're sharing. And as always, if and when you sign up to do the class, if it's the right kind of level for you, we'd love to see what you're making on socials. You know, share, tag us in everything, because we're going to be really excited to share your work as well. The deadline to sign up is the 1st of October, which is fast approaching, which is a little bit scary, but it's coming up. So if you have any questions, you know, drop us an email. We're always around. I'm always on Instagram, so you can come and chat with me there as well, or on Facebook. You know where we are. You know where we are by now. But yeah, we're just really excited to be able to introduce these techniques to the community to help us all develop our skills. And yeah, we can't wait to see what you do with it. Wonderful. Well, Anna, thank you so much for coming and sharing a bit about the masterclasses with me today. Is there any kind of final things you wanted to share before we head off?
No, I'm just really, really excited about it. We will have a live open day to share with you as well. So if you want to kind of look at the projects in detail, I know when you're listening on the podcast, it's like, what does it mean? What exactly is that? Us jewelers are very visual. So we will put that link in the show notes as well. So you'll have that opportunity to watch that too and kind of just hear a little bit more about it. And yes, we just cannot wait. This has been a long time. Jess has worked so hard on this, liaising with the jewelers and getting the filming done and the film crew and the edits and everything that goes on behind the scenes that you don't get to see. And you know, it's now, and we're just ready to share it with you now.
Absolutely. We cannot wait. And yeah, it was a fun project. I always learning new things. So I'm very lucky with the incredible people that I get to work with. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you guys for listening. And we'll be back next week with another podcast episode. I hope you have a wonderful week until then. Thanks again, Anna. Take care, everyone. And bye for now.